So right now I feel absolutely terrible, and I have not taken a new dose of Disulfiram since my day 9 update, simply because it seems to be good at breaking biofilm for Bartonella, and my legs are being eaten every single night, which feels terrible. My stomach also hurts a lot right now, actually, which is concerning. Something that really helps a lot when you take all these medicines and such is actually, as hippie and woo as it sounds, is drinking bone broth. That has made a tremendous effect on me previously, but at the moment, mm, since I'm depending on other people to do it for me, also, like, I can't go out and buy the chicken myself. The groove has kind of been lost, and I'm also trying to figure out a meal plan that is cheaper than what I've been doing recently. Been playing around with a diet that's based a lot more on meat for my calories, like meats and fat. Kind of, like, make sure that you don't get too much candida overgrowth with all of these antibiotics. But that's a sidestep. The I don't think it's purely the disulfiram, because it started as I lowered my dosage of pyrazinamide. I've been talking about that a few times, but I believe disulfiram, adding that, poured fuel on the fire, and I don't think the amount of antibiotics I am on right now is actually enough to keep down what is being released. That is so theory A is that I am not on a strong enough regimen to keep down what it has been released from the biofilm. And thesis B would be that there's been some sort of resistance developed. I do not really see this being a hoax. I do not like the hoax that I have become familiar with. It tends to be very headache-ish, and like with a lot of stiffness of the neck. Of course, elevation of existing symptoms, but what is happening right now is just like every day I wake up worse than the last day, and with new symptoms. Some symptoms I had gotten rid of in the past, some symptoms I've never had before, and they're entirely new. It's really, it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. So I've paused disulfiram from now. I've reached out to my LLMD and asked him what he thinks about it. Some of the things, ironically, I actually forgot to include these in the mail to him, but some of the things that are the most unnerving is my tremors. My tremors have gone absolutely crazy the past couple of days. My fasciculations have increased. My head pressure at the temples has become more frequent, which thankfully is not there all the time. My feet are being eaten by ants, and like there's like literally like 11 symptoms. I could see the mail that I've sent to my doctor, and like burning sensation on the skin all over, and pins and needle, and also starting to feel it a bit in my eyes and also my ears. um so today, on my own accord, I did a bit of an experiment. I tried taking 50% larger dosage of my Rifampicin regimen. So instead of taking 300, I did 450, and I actually noticed that the burning on my skin, and like the crawling sensations and all of that, actually within probably the first hour or so seemed to be significantly better. But mm, I think I made a big mistake by moving around and doing too much, because we just moved back into my own apartment, and it's kind of a mess in here. And believe me, I do not have a lot of functioning to do this, but I tried to clean up my desk a bit, just like have a bit of like space that is sanitized and nice to look at and such. That's good for your mental also. I like clean, I like order, but I do not have the physicality to do it anymore. um So I tried to reestablish some of that, especially given, like how I felt better after increasing the dosage. And I have a suspicion that maybe, given this experience that I have just now, it may be one of the reasons why I am seeing all this flare of symptoms is actually also because I've been trying to use my body too much compared to what it's actually prepared for. So, is this a hoax? I have no idea. I tried going on YouTube looking up, like, the interview where Amy from Breaking Down Bartonella, um the interview she has where her and his son are talking about how he went through it, and the way that they describe it just does not really seem familiar to me. Like, it's not a slow progression of old symptoms coming back. It's more like, oh, he took this pill, 9 days later, boom, fever, boom, chills, he couldn't walk, knee pain, stuff like that. And for me, it just seems like every day I wake up worse than the previous. Um, so I struggle to connect that with a Herxheimer reaction, unfortunately. I started reading a little bit in Buna's book yesterday, just trying to figure out, like, okay, what am I dealing with here? I found the book he had about the Bartonella. I looked into that, went to the Herx chapter, and apparently, according to Buna, you shouldn't really actually experience a Herxheimer reaction from Bartonella because it does not release enough endotoxin when it's killed. So that could explain why I never got a Herx reaction from Rifampicin the same way I did when I started Doxycycline. But that leaves more credence to the thesis that maybe I have overexerted myself. Parts of what my immune system have been doing is now, like, because the body is so occupied with probably trying to do its best with the infection and keep that down. When I exert myself in other ways, the body has to also allocate resources to that. And the other theory is my persistence, and then that's actually the third thesis that could be that there's been popped open too much biofilm compared to what my antibiotic regimen can handle, and now we're here. It's very unfortunate. I'm honestly scared to become bedridden again and just completely backslide all the progress that I've made. It's very unnerving, to be honest. Um, I don't want to. I want to make it very clear. I do not blame Disulfiram for this. I plan on going back on Disulfiram when the time makes sense for it, but right now it's just not the time. When all of this is calmed down, I'll restart my Disulfiram regimen, and I'll go low and slow again. Make sure that everything is well tolerated. I'll also go through all of the notes that I have one more time. Make sure that I don't go as I learned this time. I have now experienced firsthand how intense these ups and downs with disulfiram can be, and the scares from having some food that you shouldn't have. And thank God I never had any really adverse reactions to that besides some gut pain. But it's a medicine that you should really really treat with respect, and I feel like I'm going into it a lot more prepared now. Thank God I didn't turn into a complete horror story. So yeah, that's all I have to share for now.